finished, all done and dusted. The feet are gone and I'm on form. In this video I'm going to give you my top tips for buying approved used Land Rover from a dealer. This is a Land Rover Discovery Sport that I bought 10 months ago from Hunter's Inchcape in Chester, and it was about 15 months old when I bought it with 13,000 miles on the clock. So fairly new with not much mileage. So firstly, what's the best time of year to buy a Land Rover? Well, December and January are the best months when business is quiet. So it's October now, so you're getting close to the best months of the year to buy a Land Rover. So after December and January, then November again next month, whilst the summer months tend to be the worst, especially August. Though of course when there's heavy snow, then demand tends to rise for all 4x4s. But generally you want to buy from around mid-November to mid-January, when you're likely to secure the best price. Second top tip, that even if you're buying from a well-known reputable dealer, you should still get the vehicle's history checked out. For instance, it only cost me £15 to have this car checked out, and relatively new cars will still have finance on them which will show up, so confirm with the dealer that it will be removed once you make payment. So do get your car checked out. It doesn't cost much, £15 for peace of mind, plus you get some guarantee that if they miss something, that they will recompense you. Now if they miss finance and it's on finance, you get some money back. And my third tip is to go for the highest trim you can afford, because you will regret buying a lower trim. For instance, when I first started looking for a Land Rover Discovery Sport, well, I started off at the bottom of the range, a SE Tech trim. Then after about a month I went to the HSE, then another month, eventually deciding on going on a HSE black. So don't do an impulsive buy, take your time and go for the highest trim. Also I settled on a white or a red car, depending on what I could get, so do take your time and consider all of the trims I have to offer. For instance, I chose this one because it looks good and because of the Panoramic Sunroof. Here we go. Here's the Panoramic Sunroof, and it's quite big. And you want, especially in summer and in autumn and winter, because you want to let light into the car, otherwise it gets dark. And another reason why I bought this one is because of the rear camera. Let's put the rear camera on. There we go. Yeah, because you can't see anything out of the back, so you definitely need to have a rear camera. There you go, look, you can't see anything out of the back, and if you got it, it's even worse when you got the two back seats up. When people sat there, there's no view. Of course it's got big wing mirrors, but the rear view camera comes in. It's a must. It's a must for Land Rovers. So that's another reason why you should take your time and get the highest trim and get one with a rear camera, which is a must have for all Land Rovers, because you just cannot see through the rear window. So first time is to take your time and decide on the highest trim you can afford. Also, if you're getting a taller Land Rover, you got know, this is I think 180 centimeters, but they go up to 2 meters, 1.97 I think. Because you gotta be careful of the issue you're gonna have. You're getting in and out of car parks, especially if the entrances are any kind of slope. So beware of height issues, which is not a problem with the Discovery Sport, because I did research that, how tall it is. We'll have any issues getting in and out of car parks, especially those with sloped entrances. Of course, you want to stay clear of small car parks, because you have a right problem getting them in, especially those multi-stories, even with a Discovery Sport. So again, do take your time, so you're 100% sure that what you're getting is the right trim and model of Land Rover. Because I certainly would have regretted buying an SE Tech rather than a HTC Black. So it is very important to take your time, finalize the model you're getting. And my fourth tip is that unless you're an expert mechanic and know what everything under the hood means and its condition, then probably the best indicator whether a car will be good or crap is mileage. So you want to go for the lowest mileage possible, the lower the better. As a rough guide, you should aim for a maximum of about 12,000 miles per year. For instance, I bought this 15-month-old car with 13,000 miles on the clock. As you can see today, I haven't done much. I've done about nearly 3,000 in the 10 months I've owned it, so low mileage. And now for my fifth tip, a very important one, because no matter how good a car looks on viewing, there will be things wrong with it. So I made the mistake of not considering that it's approved used. Distance will aid me in terms of price. I'll get a lower price, but it's a false economy. So I made a mistake of buying this from Chester, which is a good 5 hours round trip, which makes it impossible to deal with, you know, minor stuff, let alone anything major. For instance, loads of things were wrong with this. Like there's a fabric rip there, a rattling noise that was masked by a number plate that the dealers even said it was the number plate rattling, but there's a rattling noise coming from there. I'll add little clips on to demonstrate what those are. What else? Oh yeah, the wheels had been blacked up, which become apparent when after my first wash that I saw issues with the wheels. And then there was the bad paint job, which a local dealer explained to me. Then they wouldn't fix under warranty because they said it'd been badly repaired. That's an inch cape, and the loose trim when I bought it was the only thing that was repaired on the approved used warranty. And I've raised these points with inch cape several times, but they don't give a shit. So buy from a local dealer. Don't go traipsing off. Don't go traipsing off. Make the mistake of buying distance. You're not saving any money. So do buy from a local dealer so you can pester them when stuff goes wrong with the car, which you will discover after buying and driving for some time, all the little stuff that's wrong. So as you can see, approved used is a sales pitch, because of all the items not right with the car, they only got the least important one fixed, which was this trim, door trim. So approved used is a sales pitch. Remember that. It's not worth anywhere near what it's suggested, and in fact it results in buyers letting their guard down. I let my guard down. So get your car fully checked out by a mechanic before buying it. So don't fall for the approved used sales pitch. treat it as though you're buying from a used car salesman, which you are. It's just another used car salesman with a approved used sales pitch. Right, that brings us to tip number 7, which is what fuel economy to expect from Land Rovers. So the fuel economy on Land Rovers is very variable depending on how you drive. Let's have a look. For instance, on a Land Rover Discovery Sport, you're gonna, depending on how you drive in, say, cities 90% of the time, then you'll be looking for fuel economy of 24 mpg to 30. Okay. There we go. So there, the bulk of the mileage, 1,000 miles, and I've got 36 miles per gallon. That's probably 70% motorway driving. Okay. Let's try and check now the same. Trip 3, look, you've got 20 miles per gallon there, that's city driving. So it's very variable. If you drive 90% on motorways, then you're looking at around 36 to 42 miles per gallon. So again, Land Rover sales pitch for Discovery Sport is 53.3 mpg, which is impossible to achieve in real world driving. You got no chance. You know, if you say 90% city, then you'd be lucky to get to 30, probably around 24. And if you're 90% motorway, you'll be 36 to 42. This one's around 70. Well, the trip, that's done about 75% on motorway. Yeah, at least 75%, maybe even 80%. And it's 36 miles per gallon. So take the Land Rover sales pitch with a giant pinch of salt regarding its fuel performance. You're never going to achieve what they state for any other models, I don't think. Definitely not a Land Rover Discovery Sport. Finally, my last tip is on the oil service, which I'll open up the bonnet, because the sales pitch is that you only need an oil service every 2 years or 21,000 miles. Well, that's another sales pitch. Let's open up the bonnet and continue. My top tips for buying a Land Rover under approved used. Okay. Here we go. And finally, of course, the oil service sales pitch is that this Discovery Sport apparently only needs an oil service every 2 years or 21,000 miles, whichever comes first. Forget that. Land Rovers need an oil service every 12,000 miles. You'll soon realise this when you see the service indicator fast counting down to an oil service long before it gets to 21,000 miles. Something to do with the, what's it called, diesel dilution issue with Discovery Sports and other Land Rovers. You can check out the video where I discuss the countdown to a service, like it losing about 7 miles on the counter for mile driven, so you never get to 21,000. There are my 8 tips for buying a Land Rover under the approved used scheme, approved used warranty scheme, which is basically a sales pitch. However, my best advice is to buy from a local dealer, because there will be stuff wrong with it, and get it checked out by a mechanic, because approved used is a sales pitch. So don't expect good fuel economy. That's anywhere near the sales pitch. For instance, this one's supposed to be 53.3 mpg, and you'll need an oil service every 12,000 miles, not 21,000. And of course, avoid the lower trims, and you need at least a reverse camera because you can't see nothing out of the rear view window, especially if the back seats are up. So that's my top tips for buying an approved used Land Rover. I would still recommend buying one, but take your time and get it checked out and buy from a local dealer. So I did make some mistakes. I bought from too far. I was sucked into the approved used sales pitch and ignored some issues that they said the approved used would deal with, such as the trim and other items, which basically the local dealer doesn't want to know. So take your time and buy from a local dealer so you can go straight away back to them to get items fixed, because there's no way I'm going to spend 5 hours round trip to Chester. So I'm stuck with some minor flaws, which probably the greatest is the bubbling paintwork, bad paint job. Oh, this is what Inchcape in Chester sold me, with a bad paint job. It's bubbling. Right there you can see it. So treat all dealers with suspicion, don't get sucked in by approved used. And hopefully you'll learn from some of my mistakes, though I'm still happy overall with the car. It does look good and it drives well. It's not broken down, so I'm not saying I don't like the car, but there's stuff wrong with it that was never fixed, because the approved used is a bit of a sales pitch. Do subscribe for new videos in this series on the Land Rover Discovery Sport.